2023 has come to a close and we are into the new year, 2024. I want to go ahead and look back and recap all that has happened within the year, as it was a big year for the coaster fanatic here, not just within the coaster industry. I came back on this channel. As you guys know, if you guys follow me, I had a fiance that is now a wife, and so a lot has happened within the year. But today we are going to recap all that I did in the 2023 season in the amusement park industry. Before we begin, I would just like to say, if you have been supporting my channel for a while, thank you. It very much appreciates me, and I know some of y'all have been following me since the very beginning, and I just couldn't be more grateful. And if you are brand new or if you still support the channel, as always, it would be very much appreciated if you hit that like button. And if you like the videos that you've been seeing, you might as well subscribe, as I'll be continually making new videos on this channel. One thing I would like to note before we begin is that I will be going very quickly through this as to not make the video too long. So if you want more of this, let me know, and hopefully I can do some more reviews or thoughts on certain things that you'll eventually hear on if you want me to elaborate more. So let's start off 2023 with January, and then I'll go through each of the consecutive months and highlight all that has happened through there. And January was mainly the annual tradition for Brian and I to go to DreamWorks Water Park just outside New York City at the American Dream Mall. This is a tradition that Brian and I have been doing since 2021 when we first went, and found out that we absolutely love the water park with its slide collection and unique attractions like the wave pool. Now, during January is when you'll find, for the most part, the cheapest prices for DreamWorks. Like, it's $50 compared to $100, but we'll take that. So we really like the water park, and this was also the first time that Kaylee, my fiance, got to check out the water park as well. And since this was her first time at the American Dream, we also stopped by Nickelodeon Universe, so that way she can get the roller coasters there as well. And then for the rest of January and February, we got to do something unprecedented before. King's Dominion went year-round. Now, it wasn't every day. They were only open weekends, but still, King's Dominion had never done that before, and it was joining the likes of Busch Gardens Williamsburg for opening year-round, and we were so excited. So we definitely took advantage of that we would go between either going to Busch Gardens Williamsburg or we'd go to King's Dominion. We did that throughout the month of January, February, and even into March, as those were the only parks open in the near area. And we had a blast. King's Dominion kept their ice skating rink open for as much as they could until they had to turn it back into the fountains. They also celebrated Valentine's Day and did some unique stuff there, which was a lot of fun. And then St. Patrick's Day came later in March, where they had some celebratory stuff, some food. They also did a special thing at Victoria's Pizza. I just recall doing like some flights and bites kind of thing that was really unique. And then Busch Gardens did Mardi Gras during this time before March, and then once March came, they did St. Patrick's Day as well. So all in all, it was really cool. Both parks are not fully open like they are in the summer months, so it's much more on a smaller scale, but still, it was very much appreciated, especially now knowing that King's Dominion will not be going year-round again. In fact, the only Cedar Fair park that's going year-round is Knott's Berry Farm, so I'm very much thankful to have that opportunity that we are able to do that. Busch Gardens is still technically year-round, even though it takes 2 weeks off in the month of January before reopening for Mardi Gras at the end of the month. Still, though, it was so cool that we got to experience that. In the DC region is where I live. Most parks tend to start opening around late March, early April. So in April 1st, 2023, we went to the opening day of Hershey Park. And for the first time ever, I got to experience Zoo America. It's free with admission into the park, but there's so much to do at Hershey Park. I've never had the chance to check it out. And so I was so happy to do so because it was a lot of fun. If you like going to zoos or you just like nature, there's a lot of cool animal exhibits as well. It's just so difficult to do so when you're going to the park, because if you've been to Hershey Park, there is so much to do with so little time. The following day, we went to Six Flags America, as it was their opening weekend as well. We got to experience the park in its full glory. We also later in that week got to experience Scream Break. It was a thing that Six Flags was trying to do across the board. And as I prefer to have my ghouls and spooks during October, but I will say at least it was unique to experience that in April. But overall, that was pretty cool. And then finally, towards the end of the month, Dark Coaster, the brand new for 2023 attraction, opened at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. This replaced the former Dark Ride, Curse of the Dark Castle, located in the Oktoberfest section, hence the name Dark Coaster. And as much as I still prefer and really miss the Dark Ride, I've come to appreciate that roller coaster. with the tight space that it had, I'm just impressed with the layout that they did. I like what style of coaster they went for. And as much as I would love a little bit more theming, I also understand clearances and all that other stuff. And so what is there, I am satisfied with. And the queue line, which yes, most of it was still kind of there from Dark Castle, it still is really impressive. And so I really enjoy the attraction. Two things I would like to highlight in May. First of all, we went to Knoebels. Knoebels opened up in late April. However, weather wasn't so desirous to go to the park, so we waited a little bit until early May to go. And if you know me for a while, Knoebels is one of my most favorite amusement parks that I have ever been to. And so I try to go at least once a year, but in recent times I've been kind of adding more and more to it as I love going to this place. And then finally, to end out May, we have our first major trip. Kaylee's birthday is around the end of May. And so to celebrate, we took at least a week to go to some parks. Now, with me, in recent times, it has been really hard to acquire new parks. Most of the people that I've been going with parks with have never been to a lot of the major parks, so I make sure to show them as I like to see their reactions to parks I've been to. But I've been missing out, and it doesn't help that a lot of the parks that I still need are very off the beaten path. And so this was what I'm about to say, once again, was about a little bit less than a week, and it was really ambitious. To start things off, we took a last-minute trip to Dollywood. We had just found out that their brand new for 2023 attraction, Big Bear Mountain, just opened up, so we had to go take a look, and it is an incredible ride. We were both satisfied with it. Such a fun, unique roller coaster, and it's also good to go to Dollywood during this time. I'm so used to being there during Christmas, as that's mostly when I get the chance to go. I've only been like one or two other times that's not during Christmas, and the park is just, the amount of vegetation that is in this park during this time is just so appreciative. So I love this theme park to death. So does Kaylee. And so we're glad we made this kind of pit stop per se to get to our next park. Our next park was located in Arkansas. One of my things that I've been trying to do is I want to go to every single park, or technically ride every coaster in every single state possible. I know there's some states that I can't do this, but I'm going to try to hit every single state as much as possible. And so it was about time that I make my way out to Arkansas's premier theme park, Magic Springs. Magic Springs kind of has a reputation, at least from what I've seen recently on the internet. All I got to say is, yes, the operations are kind of what they are, and it leaves a lot to be desired. However, we paid $50 to get into the park on a Sunday, and that is significantly cheaper than most parks nowadays. A lot of parks charge $80. Yes, the Cedar Fair and Six Flags parks, you can get discounted tickets online, but for the majority of people that still either pay at a park or go to other parks in the country, Magic Springs is actually kind of reasonable, especially for what you're getting in that park. The water park looks solid. We didn't have a lot of time to do stuff. We barely were able to get on the coasters due to the aforementioned operations, plus it was really crowded. But I wasn't disappointed with any of the coasters. Arkansas Twister was a solid Woody, same with Big Bad John as a solid Mine Train, and X Coaster stole the show. That is one of the most unique roller coasters I have ever done, and it was worth the hour-plus wait. The staff was also really friendly here. I liked the food that I got. I was at a Mexican restaurant that was really good. And I also like how transparently open this park was. Gauntlet is one of their premier roller coasters, and unfortunately we didn't get on it because it was closed. And they had the sign out in front of it that mentioned why. There were parts that they ordered to help during off-season maintenance work. Unfortunately, due to issues, they were not able to get those parts to get the ride back up. And I so appreciate that they were very transparent about that. Not a lot of parks are, and so it's always a plus when I see parks that are willing to do it. And that goes on top of the fact that the staff there were incredibly friendly, so I really enjoyed the park for what it was. The next park that we went to was another brand new one. Finally, I get coasters in the state of Oklahoma, and my final Six Flags park that I needed to hit in America. I just got one more in Mexico until the one in Saudi Arabia opens up. Frontier City. What a hidden gem. Like with Magic Springs, if you're more on the coaster enthusiast side of things, I can understand why this park may not be on your bucket list to get to. They have some unique stuff like Silver Bullet and Diamondback, but yeah, nothing kind of stood out to me in terms of roller coasters, but the whole experience of this park was super, super awesome. It was a full-fledged theme park based upon the Western frontier, And I mean, the infrastructure looked great. There was some great vegetation and landscaping. There were two really good shows. There was a magic show, and then the stunt show was awesome. There were some great effects, and the actors were just doing. They had great chemistry. It was such a fun show to watch. And then on top of that, there was some unique stuff too. Like, you got to do their log flume. Their log flume at one point went underground. It was super unique. So while yes, I would like for a new roller coaster to be added here, like I would love for something to go into that open building that they have in the back that looks like a hotel. And I wish there were some better food options at this place. Like, you're in Oklahoma and you don't even have a barbecue place. Like, but there was a taco place, but a lot of their stuff wasn't even on the dining plan. So, but other than that, I mean, Kayla and I fell in love with this place. This is a really cool theme park. And of course, the signature part of this trip was actually me taking Kaylee to my favorite theme park, Silver Dollar City. One of the most underrated parks. Well, maybe not so much anymore. I would say underrated in terms of guest attendance compared to other theme parks in America. I get it, this park is really difficult to get to if you don't have a car, but if you can figure out a way to get out there, you gotta get out to this place. Some of the best food at any park that you'll ever experience. Some of the best rides with integrated theming, just like kind of Frontier City. This one has a Midwestern town vibe, but it's set back in the 19th century, and holy smokes, every little minute detail is just, there is so much going on. It really feels like you're in a mini town. And then the other thing I got to experience was the Marvel Cave. I've never done it before. I've been to Silver Dollar City, I think, over 6 times, and I still have not done the cave. Finally, I got to do it. The fact that that is with admission into the park alone is extraordinary and a must-do, which also makes the park, in my opinion, a 2-day park. You really need 2 days to experience everything at this park. And for an upcharge, you can even do the lantern tour, which is where they turn off all the lights in the cave and you go in with the lantern. That looks super cool to do. We ended out the trip with going to Kings Island. That's such a fun park, as always. I love the roller coaster collection they have there. We were unable to see the nighttime show that they did for this year, but we did see last year's show, which we really love. So it is a bummer that we didn't get to see it, but still, we love going to Kings Island as always. During this time, of course, in America, this is when water parks start opening up. This leads us into June. So the first water park I want to shout out is Six Flags America's Hurricane Harbor. This water park is quite small but has some unique attractions, but what took it to the next level was the new event that they decided to put in the water park. Granted, this is an event that Six Flags as a whole started last year, and originally at Six Flags America it was in the dry park, but now they decided to add it to the water park. And it's called Viva la Fiesta. This takes the water park to a whole nother level. They have some great entertainment, some music. They have some of the best food that you'll get at the park is during this as well. And it just amplifies the atmosphere so much so that normally I recommend to go to Six Flags America during Fright Fest, especially for the theme park. But I would also recommend to come during the summertime just to experience Viva La Fiesta in the water park. If you're not a water park fan, I would even recommend just coming over to the water park just to maybe get some food from there or soak in the atmosphere and then go enjoy the rides in the dry park because it is a blast. I also want to mention the other water parks that I normally go to, like Soak City at Kings Dominion, which I find to be such a hidden gem. I see a lot of people kind of take it for granted, which, yeah, I kind of understand. You don't have a water coaster. They used to have a Pro Slide Tornado, but besides that, Zoom Flume is their only family raft style slide. But they have some really cool tube slides with Pipeline Peak and Thunder Falls. And they do have a whitewater constrictor. And they have some really cool thrill slides. Night Slider is actually one of my favorite free fall slides. It is super fun with a super smooth landing, and they also have some capsule slides with Hurricane Heights. And then Water Country USA is the premier Busch Gardens water park. It's just about a mile away from Busch Gardens, and it is one of the best water parks in the country too. They had a new attraction as well that we tried out. I also got to finally try the free fall slides on Vantage Point, which I prefer more than the capsule slides. But overall, that is also a really good water park to visit. Early in June, Wildcats Revenge at Hershey Park, their new for 2023 attraction, opened up. So obviously we had to go check it out, and it is a phenomenal roller coaster. It's personally become my favorite in the park. I understand if you guys still like Skyrush more, if you like Candemonium more, but for me, I love Wildcats Revenge. As much as I've missed Wildcat and how much I love that coaster, this is just, it just takes everything up a notch, and what they did with this ride was just astounding. I love every moment on this ride. It is such a good roller coaster. But besides that, we actually spent most of our time in Boardwalk. I wanted to get on almost all the slides. I still hadn't done that yet. And we, in 3 hours, were able to get everything done. Like every single attraction. There was only one water slide, and unfortunately was not open that day, but we got through everything. And I have a soft spot for this water park. I know it's on the smaller side, but all the attractions that they have here are some of the best of their type. And so, yeah, no, I really love this water park, and I would recommend it to anybody, especially since, once again, like with Zoo America, this is free with admission into Hershey Park. The final thing I want to mention for the month of June is the other Pennsylvania park that we went to, Dorney Park. This is located about an hour north of Philadelphia in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and it's a park that has grown on me so much, and I just think a lot of people take this park for granted. Everybody's so focused on Knoebels, Hershey, and Great Adventure that people forget the hidden gem that is Dorney Park. I personally love the roller coaster collection at this park, and I'm really excited that they're adding a new roller coaster to this lineup. There's just rides surrounded by vegetation and foliage. It's just a beautiful park. But we also wanted to try the water park. I'm getting back into water parks. That was one thing that I was into before I was into roller coasters, and it's something that's kind of come back to me. So I had only done the wave pool at this water park back in 2016, and so I actually wanted to do some stuff. We weren't able to get everything done, but we did most of it, and it's a fun water park. It's so impressive how small this water park is land-wise and how much slides they fit into it. Their family raft slide has got to be up there with like the Blizzard Beach one. It's one of the longest family raft slides ever. It is huge. There's a lot of cool, unique slides there, and so it's a really fun water park and definitely recommend it as well. It also helps out because when you do the water park, you can go do Thunder Canyon, which is one of the wettest raft rides in the world. You will basically jump into the water and come out. That's how soaked you get. And what's nice is because of its adjacency to the water park, you can wear a swimsuit on this attraction. Before we move into July, I just remembered about Grand Carnival at Kings Dominion that happens during June. This is a really cool event, kind of like Mardi Gras meets different international culture. And it's something that Cedar Fair has been doing since 2019, and I love it so much. So I thought I'd give a shout out here. We go to Kings Dominion for that. So moving into July, we're going back to Hurricane Harbor at Six Flags America. They did a unique event. It's not as cool as Viva La Fiesta, but it is also their first time doing it. So I expect, like with Viva La Fiesta, this will only get better in previous years. And that was Harbor Nights. What this basically was doing the water park after hours. So they actually extended the water park hours to 10 p.m. at night. Granted, not all the water park was open, but they had the wave pool, their play structure, and a couple slides open on top of some special entertainment that you'll only get within the water park. I really liked it. It was unique, and so I kind of hope that they do that in the near future. They had a summer nights thing too. They added fireworks, so Six Flags America was now doing fireworks at night on weekends, so it was a lot of fun. I hope to see these back next year. Speaking of Hurricane Harbor, we also for the first time tried the New Jersey Hurricane Harbor, or at least I did. I went with Brian. We did Hurricane Harbor adjacent to Six Flags Great Adventure. And I really enjoy this water park. This one had a lot of vegetation. It actually felt like I was near the Caribbean with all the sand that they placed. So it kind of had a thematic vibe going to it, I'm not going to lie. We weren't able to do every slide there, but we did like the slide lineup that was there. And I did love the wave pool. That pirate ship aesthetic too is awesome. The waves are really good. I'm a big wave pool guy, especially if they're larger waves. I don't like the tiny stuff. That's just how I am. I grew up loving to go to the beach, so I love big waves. I understand it's really hard for people to go there because you have Six Flags Great Adventure right there, but especially now with the new resort coming, you can make it so that I recommend like 3 days. You can do 2 days at the theme park, 1 day at the water park, because it's a solid water park. And of course, afterwards, we did have to go ride the lineup that is King the Ka, El Toro, Jersey Devil, Nitro. I mean, what a collection of roller coasters. We also went back to Knoebels, this time so we could try Crystal Pool, which is their water park. I put that in quotations because it's more like a glorified camp resort. It's mainly known for its pool, which is what Knoebels started from, was that pool. And it's almost 100 years old, which is super unique. But they do have 2 slide structures. They have 2 tube slides from Whitewater West, and then they have 2 body slides that are now mat slides from Pro Slide. Definitely on the older side, but a lot of fun. So this one does require admission, unlike Knoebels park itself, but it's $9 admission, and it is what it is. It's still pretty cool. For me, though, when it comes to Knoebels, my favorite part is the amusement park. You can't get me away from those roller coasters. I wanted to take this time to mention a water park that I got to go to for the first time because I rarely heard anything about this place. I just know that it existed because of my times going to Virginia Beach, and that is Ocean Breeze Water Park. This is a hidden gem. It sucks because water country is so nearby, so I know a lot of people gravitate towards that. But if you live within the Norfolk, Chesapeake area, or even in North Carolina, Richmond, take some time to go to Ocean Breeze Water Park. This is a really cool water park with some unique slide lineup, a incredible wave pool. This is one of my favorite wave pools. So, I mean, you'll have a good time here. I also at this time got to check out Atlantic Fun Park. When I was a beach kid, we never really did the rides at parks like that, which we'll kind of get into a little bit later in a park that I visit in New Jersey. But I did the small little Atlantic Fun Park in Virginia, and so that was cool. But the main thing was Ocean Breeze Water Park. If you go to Virginia Beach for vacation, if you somehow have extra time, I recommend giving this a shot. This is a really cool water park.